Jean Piaget was a Swiss psychologist and epistemologist who focused on child development. He is famous for his theory of cognitive development, which is also known as genetic epistemology. According to Piaget, cognitive development results from the interplay between innate capabilities, nature, and environmental influences, nurture. Children progress through 4 distinct stages, each representing varying cognitive abilities and world comprehension. These stages are: the sensoromotor stage, birth to 2 years. Children learn through the senses, learn through reflexes, manipulate materials. Understandings of the world are limited to visual and tactile interaction with the world. Imitation provides a foundation for thinking in visual images. The pre-operational stage, 2 to 7 years. Children form ideas based on their perception, can only focus on one variable at a time, overgeneralize based on limited experience. Thinking involves visual images about sensoromotor actions and experiences, and symbolic thought. Thought is focused on the particular without abstracting general principles, and relies on perception and intuition. The concrete operational stage, 7 to 11 years. Children form ideas based on the reasoning, limit thinking to objects and familiar events. Cognitive structures have developed sufficiently to be used as logical systems and used across contexts rather than being specific to a certain type of problem in a particular context. At the operational stage of thought, children understand notions of reversibility and associativity. And the formal operational stage, 11 years and older. Children think conceptually, thinks hypothetically. Abstract and decontextualized reasoning using verbal propositions, premises, ideas and concepts is possible without access to concrete objects. Students can hypothesize, problem solve, note relations between ideas and things, hold a number of ideas in mind, and develop and relate concepts. At each stage, children have to overcome certain cognitive errors and achieve particular developmental outcomes to move to the next stage. Piaget argued that children construct their understanding of the world based on their experiences. By interacting with the environment, children create schemas, a mental model of the world. Adaptation is a type of schema that explains how persons understand and learn new information. According to Piaget's theory, there are 2 ways in which adaptation can occur. When new information is taken from the outside world and is incorporated into a previously existing schema, it is called assimilation. This process is thought to be subjective, as people tend to modify information or experience that should match with their pre-existing beliefs. Accommodation occurs when persons process new information by altering their psychological representations to fit the new information. It is an additional constituent of adaptation that includes altering people's current schemas to suit the new information. This process is called accommodation. In accommodation, people change their existing ideas or schemas, due to a new experience or new information. These processes may give rise to the development of new schemas. Equilibration refers to achieving a balance between inner knowledge and the environment through assimilation and accommodation. According to Piaget, in 1972, page 27, children should be able to do their own experimenting and their own research. Teachers, of course, can guide them by providing appropriate materials, but the essential thing is that in order for a child to understand something, he must construct it himself, he must reinvent it. Every time we teach a child something, we keep him from inventing it himself. On the other hand, that which we allow him to discover by himself will remain with him visibly. For education to be effective, it should be child-centered, experience-focused, provide opportunities that challenge children's pre-existing schemas and consider children's readiness to make sure they understand new information. The learning inside the classrooms must be student-centered and performed via active discovery learning. The primary role of an instructor is to facilitate learning, rather than direct teaching. Hence, teachers need to ensure the following practices within the classroom. 1. Pay more attention to the learning process, rather than focusing on the end product of it. Instead of checking if children have the right answer, the teacher should focus on the student's understanding and the processes they use to get to the answer. 2. Use active teaching involving reconstructing or rediscovering truths. 3. Use individual and collaborative activities to allow children to learn from one another. 4. Devise situations that offer useful problems and develop disequilibrium in children. 5. Assess a child's development level so appropriate tasks can be created. Educational programs should be designed to correspond to Piaget's stages of development. Can you clearly explain key concepts, terms, and demonstrate how Piaget's theory is applicable for learning and teaching by specific illustrative examples?